How's it going, everyone? We got quite a lot to talk about in regards to Stellar Blade. As we're getting closer and closer to the release of the game, more and more information is coming out, and this time around, we've got an in-depth interview with a lot of news and notes about the game, speaking on a lot of the elements, so we'll talk about it. This is becoming one of the more anticipated games of the year. I think they've done a really good job as far as promoting the game, and I think the demo, this is the kind of game that needs a demo. I don't think every game needs a demo. Like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it was great that we got a demo for it, but people were gonna buy that game regardless. I don't think that demo literally sold a single copy of that game. Maybe I'm wrong about that. You guys let me know. But with Stellar Blade, I think this demo legitimately sold a lot of people on this game, and not only did it sell people on the game, the fact is, because of the demo, so many people uploaded gameplay videos, their reactions to the game, their thoughts on the demo, so on and so forth, and sure, there were some mixed opinions here and there, but it all created this dialogue for the game, and it was all of this promotion that makes a demo incredibly effective in today's day and age. But Stellar Blade did talk quite a bit, and as noted on Push Square, Stellar Blade developer ShiftUp has shared what the studio has planned in terms of post-launch support for its soon-to-be-released PS5 exclusive. In a recent interview, it revealed that the title will receive free updates that bundle in new costumes for protagonist Eve, and those are free updates. Guys, I am shocked that those are free updates, because from my lens, given Stellar Blade, they could have easily monetized the new costumes. I'm not saying I would have liked it, but if you are trying to make the most amount of money possible, brand new costumes I really think would sell very well. It would be so little work, and you can make a ton of extra cash on it. We've seen so many publishers do this. Need I remind you of some publishers that do this? I know I'm not gonna go into that diatribe right now, but costumes is something that is so easily monetizable and requires very, and I mean very little work. And you can go back to the heyday of gaming where costumes were just unlockable in-game items, but now it's been normalized. We're like, hey, we can sell you costumes as post-launch content that you can buy, or even launch day content that you could buy. But in the case of Stellar Blade, it looks like it is going to be free updates for the game. That is going to be new costumes for the protagonist Eve to wear, and there's some wild costumes already available. Alongside, there will be a New Game Plus option, unfortunately not available day one. Seems to be a trend with PS5 exclusives. God of War Ragnarok, no New Game Plus day one. Spider-Man 2, no New Game Plus day one. And now Stellar Blade, no New Game Plus day one. I don't think it's that big of a deal, given that, generally speaking, with games, from my personal vantage point, what I like to do is I like to complete a game, and then if I really enjoy it, I'll circle back for the New Game Plus playthrough a while later. Although with Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I did do the New Game Plus playthrough pretty immediately after. But that's few and far between where I'll play a game 2 times over back to back, and I don't know if Stellar Blade is going to be one of those games that I want to do that, but I'm sure it's a game that I'll want to circle back to and play again, especially if they ultimately do a sequel. I like to go back and play the original, so on and so forth. It's also stated DLC has not been determined yet separately to the free content drops, and if that means it hasn't been determined, I think that's something that will be determined based on the commercial reception of the game, so it'll be interesting to see where they end up with that. They also noted from ShiftUp CEO that there will be no microtransactions in the game. We would like to make it clear here that Stellar Blade does not require any additional expenses that gamers are not aware of other than the cost of purchasing the package. He explains that the only exception to this would be if the developer collaborates with another studio on a costume for Eve, which can be sold for a fee. Okay, I kind of actually like that idea. That idea I don't think is crazy. If they're collaborating with another studio, let's say that they do a Stellar Blade armor that takes from another PlayStation IP, like a Ghost of Tsushima Stellar Blade themed armor. Actually, thinking about that, that would be pretty effing cool, right? Ghost of Tsushima themed Stellar Blade armor, I think that could be pretty cool. Man, now you just open up the can of worms in my head about all the ideas that you can do. I could understand collaborations and things like that being sold for the fee, because obviously you would think that whoever they're collaborating with would want a little bit. You would think whoever they're collaborating with, they would want a fee. I don't know how these business transactions work, but it makes sense as far as that goes, and the fact is you're gonna get free content updates with various costumes, but we'll see if they ultimately do the collaborations. Out of the base game, there will be 30 costumes to choose from, so it already has a lot of variety, and some of them look incredibly cool. Obviously, what got quite a bit of traction is the skin suit, a pretty NSFW character costume for Eve, to say the least. But according to the game description, it does note it punishes players by quietly canceling out their defective shield. Speaking to Famitsu in a new interview, it was noted, the gameplay difficulty will increase dramatically, so I recommend that you wear clothes as much as possible. So if you do want to do the skin suit, just bear in mind the game's going to be far, far more difficult. I think there's going to be, honestly, as wild as this is, I think the idea of doing a super challenging mode on top of the skin suit, that's gonna make for some really cool playthroughs, I'll say, that people are gonna want to do, being like, yo, I'll put on the skin suit, I'll put the game on max difficulty, let's see if I can play through it. They should make it, like, brutally difficult, though, if the skin suit is on. Like, brutally difficult. Make the highest difficulty brutally difficult. So if you really want that maximum appeal, you gotta go through the most challenging game of all time. That would be hilarious to me. Like, I'm saying, make the game damn near unfair if you have the skin suit on. That's what I would like to see. Like, the highest difficulty skin suit turned on, and you know people are gonna have a field day with trying to do that playthrough. And that's a great way. That's a great way to promote the game. All of these elements are just so fascinating in terms of being a promotional vehicle to the game, and I go back to it over and over again, and I said, and somebody commented on a recent video, and I agree with them to an extent where I was like, Stellar Blade ultimately is gaining a lot of traction because fundamentally it looks like it has good gameplay design, and somebody noted in the comments section, I forget who it was, but they said Tomb Raider wouldn't sell as well if Lara Croft wasn't the main character, and that's okay. I agree with that to an extent, but, you know, my experiences with the Tomb Raider games, especially since the reboot or the origin story in 2013, the Tomb Raider games are very freaking good. They are damn good games. Like, you can't just say Tomb Raider popped off because of Lara Croft. Like, sure, that's a good promotional vehicle, but it ends there. It's a promotional vehicle that helps a little bit. You still have to fundamentally and foundationally be a good game. And if you're telling me Tomb Raider 2013, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider aren't fantastic games, you know, some of them I have issues with, but ROTR is one of the best action-adventure games that I've played in the last decade since it's come out in 2015, so I don't necessarily agree with that. All I'm saying is it's a good promotional vehicle, and it kind of ends there. You still foundationally have to be a good game, and I think that creates more of an appeal because people go into the game thinking one thing, then they play the demo, or then they see gameplay, and they're like, holy hell, this is a stylish action game. Holy hell, this has depth to its gameplay. Holy hell, the visuals are great. Holy hell, the soundtrack is great, and it's got so much more to it that I think that revelation enhances the game even more. It makes you even more compelled to play the game. And if it wasn't a quality game, if it didn't have foundational gameplay elements that people were going to get engaged into, I really don't think it would have popped off. This game has been known for a long time, but the anticipation for the game has really escalated. First of all, after that State of Play trailer came out, which I give a lot of credit to that State of Play trailer, that should be a case study on how to promote a game, how to do a trailer for a new IP. They did a fantastic job with that, and then on top of that, doing a demo. Stellar Blade is the type of game that should have a demo. I look back at a game like Unicorn Overlord. That game had a demo. Great job having a demo for that game, especially given that that game was coming out in, you know, kind of a difficult time, a week after the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 Rebirth. You know, there are certain games I think a demo is incredibly advantageous for. Stellar Blade's one of them. Unicorn Overlord's another one of them. Looking ahead, I'm sure there are other titles that it would be advantageous for them to have a demo. But, yeah, like, for example, if the next Legend of Heroes game had a demo, like, I don't know how much that's gonna do. An established IP, long-running, heavily narrative-driven. Same thing with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Look, I like that it had a demo. I'll always take having a demo over not having a demo, but I think people were gonna buy Rebirth anyway. With Stellar Blade, I think the demo's been incredibly effective, and I think a lot of other developers should look at it. I know that doing a demo isn't gonna be up every publisher's alley, especially if that publisher is trying to release a broken game. They would rather not release a demo, release trash, get your $70, and then run like bandits. That's what they would rather do. So I understand in that scenario, not doing a demo, but in terms of Stellar Blade, it's a new IP, it seems like they're confident with the game, and they want to sell more people on the game, so that made all the sense in the world. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.